Do you know that Hina? Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, so it seems like there was an update of some kind, but there's a planned update. There's a planned update for new characters at some point. I was hoping it would be ready to go, but it's not. But it's fine because here we are. Oh, woe is me. My name is Hina. Isn't it crazy how this game has so many characters and not one of them is the real Hina? Alright. There's a new minigame? Wait, what? Hina-chan breaking showdown? Oh, I can't read that. Uh-oh. 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 Yeah, that's not happening. I can't read any of that. I can't read any of that, so I won't be able to play that. Oh, no! What a phenomenal start. That's the big Iku. Of course he's throwing donuts. Of course he's throwing donuts. What did I see? You saw Iku after one too many burger. Haven't you ever eaten so much you inflated like a balloon? I don't even know what was happening. Right, I forgot. I was supposed to be good at this game or something. Yeah? Alright, okay. Flat fuck. Fat fuck. Ah! Ah! It's me and you. Streamer, how come you only play one character? Because there's only one character worth playing in this game. Streamer, how come you only play one costume? Because there's only one costume worth playing in this game. That's incredible. That's incredible. I don't know how he did that, but good job. You fat fuck. This is the only guy online. Streamer, this is the equivalent of wearing the same shirt for 3 years. No. But a little. Just a little bit. A little bit. I haven't changed my shirt in 3 years. I don't even have a title. Well, that was beansed. That's all I need. I'd sooner trust a guy who hasn't changed his profile image in 5 years than a guy who changes it every 5 days. Let me tell you. Now, chat. We can group the individual into... Oh, guys. We can group the individual into different profile pictures. We have number 1, the anime girl. These are classic. These are, they have, you know, it's the anime girl. Alright? Number 2, a goofy image from the internet. These make up the brunt of our online personas. God damn it. Are you anime girl or are you goofy image? I'm a goofy image kind of guy. That's me. I'm a goofy image guy. I'm not an anime girl guy. This guy is the best player in the world. Just gonna hit him with all of them. All of my stickers. But you also have the guys... Oh. No, you know what? I'm not subcategorizing. I'm not subcategorizing. It's two things. You're either anime girl. or your goofy image. Thank you. Oh my god, look at that. Look at that winner right there. 2 fucking Keynas. You know, listening to this music, I have not played a Mystery Dungeon game in a long time. I wonder how I would feel if I just, like, booted one up and played it again. I don't know, would it hit the same? Probably not. I wouldn't have enough time for it, really. But I do think about the early days of playing Red Rescue Team and Darkness and really enjoying it. Honestly, post-game Darkness didn't do much for me. I've said this many times before, but the biggest thing that kept me enthralled with Mystery Dungeon was the friend areas. So after I kind of beat the game in Darkness, I just kind of didn't want to play very much anymore. But in Red and Blue, I was like, I gotta fill the friend areas. I gotta make these areas feel alive with all these pogies. Chat, what's the worst kind of profile picture someone can have? This is your chance to be fully judgmental. What is the worst kind of profile picture somebody can have? Crop porn. That is the correct answer. That is the correct answer. There are lots of things, frankly. I'm not asking you to be wishy-washy. I'm asking you to give me a definitive answer based on your opinion. Don't hit me with that, you know, there are lots of things that are bad. No, what's bad to you, Stinky? Soy Jack. I've never seen anybody with a Soy Jack PFP. MLPOC. Do people still have those? Do people still have those? Is that, like, still a thing? Bro, I'm really out of touch. With, like... That shit's, like, 13 years old at this point. I'm out of touch. You got the touch! Their photo. You mean a photo of themselves? I mean, that's just not really a great idea. But I do actually agree to an extent on that. Specifically with the influencer types. The influencer types, like streamers, whenever they're like, their photo is a picture of their face or something, there's a very high chance that they are a self-obsessed asshole. There is a very large chance of that. If their branding is their, like, literally just their face, your Twitter PFP, bro. True. True. You got me. I'm caught. I can't even argue that. He got me. Oh, that didn't quite bend the way. This poor bastard. He's giving me points. He's pitying me. The branding is anime girl. No. There you go. I can't say I have a lot of experience talking with people with various profile pictures, mind you. So I have a pretty limited scope of experience in that regard. But I do find it funny how there's like a level you can kind of pick out based on profile pictures, you know. Anime girl PFP, now it's normie. I don't know about normie. What the hell? Oh, that was supposed to do some crazy shit. Like fly over the wall. Like that, yeah. Like that. Bark. Bark, 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 bark. Oh, but wait, you know what? I forgot a group chat. I forgot a group. The no profilers. Oh, the no profilers. The guys who have no profile picture. The unknowns. How can you even judge somebody who doesn't even have a profile picture? Now the worst part about this is that somehow, some way, I'm gonna fuck this up. Nice. They can be anything and anyone. They're wearing the mask. YouTube comments are like that. YouTube comments, I think YouTube comments has the highest volume of no profile picture, no profile picture, like commenters. And they're unpredictable. They can't be classified because you don't know. You don't know because they haven't chose. Or they've chosen to not choose. It's impossible to know for sure though. Wow. I don't know what this theme is, but it's very good. It's quite short though. But it's very good. So I'm gonna open that to the side. Remember that for later. Okay. Hi, funny! I've never been on 9. I funny. Never. Never. I knew that was gonna happen. I know how this fucking level works, and I knew that was gonna happen, because that's how this always happens. Wow, that's embarrassing. Okay. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Who wants to do streamer a favor? Can you request Balrog stage from Street Fighter 2? I love that theme. Balrog stage. Oh, that didn't quite work. Hurry, do it! Hurry! Balatro is weird. I can't understand it. Bro, I don't get it either, but it's probably one of those games you have to play to get. It ain't really my kind of game. I'm not a math guy, alright? I'm not a math guy. What? Well, whatever works. Dun 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 dun. Hina will never escape. Hina will never escape. What the hell is Hina trying to do? I'm gonna teach her how to double jump. Where did her propeller go? Chat, where did her propeller go? Where did her propeller go? I got eyeballed. Do you even know what these characters do anymore? No, there's too many of them to keep track of it all. There's just way too many of them to keep track of. If I don't see a character regularly enough, I don't know what the fuck they do. See, he thought he had a good idea there, and then he remembered that he's playing Marissa. Pepe giggle. Oh, what a shot. Marissa players, am I right? They set up their special shot and then they don't even get anything from it. I wouldn't know anything about setting up a special and having it work in their opponent's favor. Not me. I wouldn't know anything like that. Wank. Ah, ooh, ah, ee, ah, ooh, ah, ah, ee, ooh, ah, ah, ee, ooh, ah. Well, that's an awkward position. Do 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 do. Huge point increase for me. Yahoo ha! Yaha ha 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 ha! Ooh, ooh, that's some good guitar. Ooh, ooh, ah! Chat, you know, Evo is next month, right? I think. Yeah. Wow, that was almost an impressive shot. I have no idea what's gonna be at Evo this year, but to be honest with you, I'm not sure how much I care. I know Street Fighter 6 is gonna be the finisher, so, you know. But honestly, because of Evo time, that usually starts when Vinny does a Sunday stream, and I find that I'd rather watch the Sunday stream than that. The last two Evos I watched, the majority of the top 8s were mirror matches. It's kind of boring, actually. Like, I just, you know, like, Grand Finals was a mirror match for more games than it probably should have been. I was like, alright, whatever. I remember I was watching, I think it was King of Fighters one year, and it was just like, this fucking, I don't even remember the character, but this is this asshole who hits you like once, then he gets like a fucking super combo that does like 40% of your HP where he fires lightning at your ass or something like that. And like everybody was using this character, and I was just like, okay, this character is like absolutely stupid. Like they hit you with anything. They hit you with fucking anything and you just lose all your health bar. It was the same character. They all used the same character. I don't remember who they were because I'm not familiar with King of Fighters. Isn't that most fighting games? Yeah, it is, but it's, I don't know how to explain it. It's dependent on how easy it is for characters to get the shit that they want to do. Characters who are really good or considered like busted are characters who get a lot out of low commitment. Imagine you have a frame 3 jab that can confirm into a 40% combo with meter. Now imagine that without meter. If a character can get like more than 20% off of you without meter, it's already pretty insane. Even more so if it doesn't require like a counter hit, because some combos can only be done off counter hits because they have different properties. Hard knockdowns are a thing as well. I remember I watched a video about Bardock. Bardock from DBFZ Fighters. His level 3 super caused a hard knockdown, which meant after you got a fucking level 3 super, you had amazing advantage because it forces a hard knockdown. So you get to continue to play advantage as opposed to finishing your combo. It's kind of crazy. They don't do that anymore, though. Oh, I don't know how to hit you. Slide, slide, Hina, slide, slide, slide. You're joking. You're joking. You're joking. You're joking. You're joking. Oh yeah, he had a really good, I forget what it was, but he had a really good, option. He had a couple really good options. Pretty sure Goku Blue had an overhead mix-up in his auto combo, which is, like, hilarious. I believe Piccolo was the worst character in the game early on because he didn't have a single hard knockdown. So he couldn't force any real situations like that. Characters all have combos and stuff. But, like, Piccolo just, whenever he finished a combo, it was just, like, right back to neutral. No advantage state. But getting a hard knockdown off a level 3, which is a big finisher, is like, oh. Because that a big finisher is, as it implies by its name, a finisher, right? But not in this case. It's not a finisher so much as it's an extender. Oh yeah, pretty much every DLC pack had a character that came out that was just like commandeered the meta. Bark. Fighters is a funny game. I enjoyed it its first year at EVO because the audience just screamed whenever Cell screamed, and everybody was really into that, and that was funny. You don't quite get it like that anymore, do you? Labco 21. I don't actually know much about Labco 21 at all, but I have heard that she's a very powerful character. And I don't know what's going on with Street Fighter 6, but there's probably a character or two in there that is causing some massive strife. Did that do anything? Not really, but it was fun. It was fun to do. Injustice. Oh my god, I watched a video on Injustice. I watched a video that Sejam made on Injustice. Oh my god, what a fucking video game that was. We're playing... Alright, I'm counterpicking Batman in Gotham City. What does that mean? It means I'm going to throw batarangs at you, and I'm going to throw this dumpster at you. And this is going to be the game. Yep. Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe is the one with the worst balance, because that game had literal infinites that were not that hard to do. I watched an actual, honest-to-God tournament game. A real money on the line tournament game where it was Batman on Gotham. It was Batman on Gotham, and he threw batarangs and threw the dumpster. Because the dumpster is a follow-up for when you anti-air, so your opponent had no choice but to accept the dumpster. Unblockable, by the way. You cannot block the dumpster, and if you try to jump over it, you get bataranged. Pig meta, that's another one. There was a level that was like a freezer that you can throw a pig at people, and once somebody throws the pig, the other person camps it, and they just start throwing the pig between each other because again, they're unblockable. You can teleport through them and around them, but you cannot block them. Yep, I know. The garbage can hit everywhere. It hit everywhere. That's why it didn't matter. It didn't matter if you threw the batarang and they jumped and they hit the ground, because if they hit the ground, they were still gonna get hit by the garbage can anyway. There was no, not throwing the garbage can was not there was no strategy. There was no strategy. you just throw the fucking garbage can. Oh, you know what? I reminded me of another video I watched about dirty tactics in Mortal Kombat. So in Mortal Kombat 4, there's actually a brief period of time before the game starts where you're not allowed to block. Like the first like couple frames after it says fight, you're not allowed to block. So some characters, if they have a move that's fast enough, can come out before the opponent is actually able to block, and you just get hit automatically. And that's not even the best one. The best one is from Deadly Alliance. So in Deadly Alliance, that's a 3D one, right? That's one of the 3D fighter games. There was a glitch or something in the game. So normally when you win, you know, you take out your opponent. Your character like goes back into a position, and then you get the counter for like round 2 or round 3, right? But you're not allowed to move because the round is over. However, for whatever reason, if your controller disconnects and you reconnect it, you're allowed to move during that. Yeah. So, while the guy is going round 2, fight, you are allowed to move during that period of time if you disconnected your controller. And you can start fighting before the round actually starts. I'm not joking. That is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. Like, imagine losing 10% of your health before the round has even officially started. What kind of bullshit is that? Oh my god. So, what the fuck? That's Alice. What? Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe had an infinite with Flash, where he could chain like a 1-2 into his spin super that stuns you. And the scaling on that combo gets so extreme that you're not actually doing damage with the spin move anymore, and you're doing 1% with the actual like 1-2. But it is an infinite. It is an infinite. You just constantly loop a combo over and over, and it does really small damage. Then you have Superman's infinite, where he pounds the ground, and it's unblockable, and it staggers you. So you can just do the ground pound move, hit them, and with proper timing, they cannot do anything but get hit. And that's it. They just get hit. You get wobbled. And I'm pretty sure that Darkseid does that in Injustice as well. Ground pound attacks are bullshit. But Superman's and MKDC is actually bad. It's actually like, you actually just, if you hit that move, that's GG. That is effectively GG. And the studio that made the game closed down, so there was no shot of anyone getting an update. That game was like one of the last fighting games to be in one of those situations where what you got on release is what you got forever. No fixes, no updates, nothing. That is the game. But yeah, Injustice 1, oh my god, yeah, there's a good Sajam video on it where he literally just talks about the crazy shit and shows some of it off. There's another level as well where you just like throw drones at people. Like, power characters in the game are really good because basically characters have two different things they can do, where they can jump off of objects to get screen position, or they can use objects to throw at their opponent. And characters who throw shit at their opponent are better because the shit they throw does a fuckload of damage and is unblockable. So yeah, throwing shit is good. NetherRealm games are something. Mortal Kombat is such a weird game to me to watch because it feels like it's supposed to be semi-realistic in a lot of ways with the way the fighting works. Obviously there's fucking superpowers and people are getting their bones and shattered and organs exploded mid-match and they're okay, but like, what really gets it for me is the fact that the most prominent like, that game feels like an anime fighter sometimes with how stupid the fucking combos work. Cause they're weird bouncy juggle combos that don't make any sense. You're like punching the guy in the fucking ankles. Mortal Kombat 1 isn't even an Evo, is it? I don't think so. You'd have to check. But as far as I can tell, Mortal Kombat 1 was kind of a competitive mess. Again, I don't follow NetherRealm. My opinion of Mortal Kombat is I don't care about it anymore. I have nostalgia for it, which I really shouldn't, because that game was definitely 17 plus when I was 3. So nostalgia for a game like that is interesting. But yeah, I do have nostalgia for earlier Mortal Kombat games, but New Age Mortal Kombat I don't particularly care for. I don't like NetherRealm Studios' practices, and I really don't like their practices. Nasty shit. Oh, come on now. Tekken is supposed to be the most, like, realistic fighting game, but it has its own fair share of stupidity. It also has a lot of weird bouncy combos. Bouncy combos look so fucking unnatural. I played 4 on the 64 when I didn't really know how to do special moves, and Armageddon, which is not a good game. Armageddon is not a good game. Tekken has like 1 projectile in the game, but Tekken 8 is Tekken 8's a mess. Although Tekken 8 I'd say is very accurate, because I feel like if a 7'2", 400-pound beefcake started just jumping at you and clapping his hands at your head, he would probably kill you really fast. So I would say that's pretty realistic. I don't think he gets to do that anymore, but yeah, he did get to do that for a while. It was 5 to perform the babality, which deeply disturbed my still developing child brain. Really? I thought the friendships and the babalities, I thought the friendships were funny, but the babalities were weird. But the fatalities were like, you know, I was a kid. I was a young kid. But I was like, whoa, Liu Kang turned into a dragon and ripped that guy in half. That's fucking awesome. Right? That's awesome. I didn't actually play any of the earlier Mortal Kombats in Mortal Kombat 4 until I was at least a teenager. So yeah, Mortal Kombat 4 is my young exposure to that. But I also had South Park, the video game. I had Mortal Kombat 4 and South Park on my 64 when I was a kid. Yep. And I turned out just fine. I think there's actually 2 South Park games on the 64. I had one of them, though. I had one of them. Saw fatality when I was young and had nightmare for like 2 weeks. Oh! You know what? The fatalities didn't give me, like, didn't scare me. It was the continue screen. Where you're falling down that fucking, like, hole, and at the bottom you just get impaled. I was like, holy shit. But I think that was more about my fear of, like, falling indefinitely than it was actually getting impaled at the bottom. But that shit definitely fucked me up for a little bit. That was the scariest thing for Mortal Kombat 4. Was just the falling down the well with the music. Hold on. Hold on. Let me find the music. Let me find the music. Mortal Kombat 4 continue screen music. Mortal Kombat 4 continue music. Yeah, this. And you just fall. Yeah, I didn't like that very much. You fall and you hit the ground. And you just get impaled down the hole. I hate that shit, dude. I hated it. I hated it. Ah! Ah! Whoa, I'm gonna throw you over there. That fucked me up as a kid, yeah. Whoa, shit, is that a key? Legendary Keyna skin. He's unbelievable. Well, that didn't work. Yes, hello. Well. Who's bad? Who's bad? Why did what, huh? Why is there a chick? What the fuck is even happening? I don't even know what's happening! Does it have stage fatality in Mortal Kombat 4? Where you grab them and you giant swing them into a fan. Bro got 2 turns and I don't know why. I missed Hina, but I wasn't gonna be able to hit her anyway. Mortal Kombat is not a game you should be playing when you're a child, just so you know. But I feel like maybe our parents didn't understand or didn't like really get it or didn't care or some other third thing. I mean, parents don't care nowadays either, but it's like their lack of caring is in a different, I suppose. A lack of understanding is like buying M-rated video games or letting your child be outside for longer than they should. But nowadays, it's putting a tablet, unrestricted internet access, and no supervision, which honestly sounds a lot scarier than me standing outside while the sun sets. Or GTA. I don't remember when GTA came out, but I didn't have a console for GTA. I borrowed RE for a GameCube from a friend in 5th grade. Pengy! We watched Christian play it. And then one day I tried to play it myself when I was homesick from school. And I've told this story before. So I was actually like really afraid playing it alone. It was broad day. It was like 11 a.m. by the way. It was broad daylight. And I watched Christian play it, so I knew about the village segment. I knew about the village segment and everything. So I was like, all right, I'm going to be prepared for it. And I had a brilliant idea. I had the brilliant idea of like, oh, instead of fighting all these guys, I'll just run to the exit because I know where it is. So I was like, hee, I'm so smart. So I ran to the exit. And that's when I learned that the chainsaw guy... There's a chainsaw guy that is dormant in front of that door who only aggroes if you get too close to the exit. And I saw him, and he saw me, and he picked his chainsaw up, and I turned the game off. And then I didn't play it again for years. But, yeah. That guy spooked me real good. He just started coming towards me with a chainsaw, and I was like, nope! No, 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 no. No, thank you. I was like in 5th grade. Well. Wow, 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 wow. What the fuck? What? What did you just do to her? That's impressive. Robot chicken. I was afraid of the skull at the end that popped up. I don't even know how to explain that. You know, at the very end, after the rail station, it goes, skull! That scared me. I don't know why. I don't even know what that means. Like, it was like a studio. It popped up for like half a second. I was just like, oh, I don't like that. I think it's because I couldn't identify clearly what it was I was seeing, so it spooked me because I wasn't sure what it was. Skeleton. The skeleton! I never watched Aqua Teen Hunger Force. It was never on. I ended up watching some Tripping the Rift. That was a fucking... Good lord, that was a show. That was a fucking show. I think I watched maybe 2 episodes. But that shit was wild. How could TV like that? How could TV like that even be on TV, man? Weird, freaky CG aliens and really horny content. It's fucked up. Some glurp shit. You got the wrong theme. This is wrong. Boom, 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 boom. She's flying. Cheated and fight though. Alright, watch me as I cheese this win. Okay. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow. Well. I watched the most Futurama and King of the Hill. Cha! A winner is me. Sometimes I think about the shows that I watched unsupervised. I watched The Simpsons. American Dad and Futurama were all fine. My mom didn't want me watching Family Guy. I'm not actually sure why, because I'm not sure what about Family Guy was really worse than anything else I was watching. But no, she said no Family Guy. And I was like, alright, no Family Guy. Listen, this was back when Family Guy was like new. Like when Family Guy was full of actual funny moments. Well, I did watch a couple South Park episodes, but I think that's just because my mom didn't know what South Park was. Which is funny because I had a South Park game. I did the same fucking thing again. When I was a kid, I was afraid of the Bowser laugh in Mario 64 as well. Also, I played the entirety of Donkey Kong 64 with no sound on because all of the noises scared me. The blueprint sound, the Kremlin noises, all of it scared me. It took me a while before I could play with that game with volume on. I know, right? One time I got really brave. And I turned the music on in Crystal Caverns and I was like, oh, this music's really nice. And then the fucking stalagmites started falling on me and then I was like, and the audio goes back down to 0. That also happened when I was in the Aztec ruins. And I was like, I'm gonna turn the music up a little bit so I could hear it a little bit. And I was inside the ruins. I was like, this is kind of spooky. And I grabbed the banana and it was like, get out. And I was like, ah! I'm going! I'm leaving! It's just, there's just so many scary noises in there. There's so many scary noises. Every time I'd be like, alright, let's listen to some of the sound and get used to it. And then it'd be like ooga booga. And I'd be like, ah. I don't like that noise. Cha-cha. What the fuck have you done? Gooby. Are you kidding me? Chat, what is the weirdest thing that scared you as a child? This is a deep cut, because I know I mentioned this before. It was probably a long time ago. But I used to be afraid of the credits from Barney the Dinosaur. The Barney the Dinosaur credits, when it's rolling the credits and there's just all these feet on the TV, and I was just like freaked out. I just didn't like it. It made me uncomfortable, and I was afraid of it. Scared of Luigi's Mansion track and Mario Kart DS because of the picture in Grand Prix. Which picture? Enough nightmares from the You Lose sign in Wii Sports. Oh shit. I don't even remember what that looks like. Okay. Play colorful, loud noise, colorful lights on the screen, and all your PC's lights start flashing. Well, that's a good way to scare you. It looks like nothing but a You Lose sign. Why were you afraid of it? I was a sensitive kid. The track lineup pictures on the menu. Wait, you mean like the Grand Prix preview picture scared you? The PS2 error screen. Okay, but that's kind of spooky. Oh, you know what? You know what spooked me? Luigi's Mansion blackout segment. The part of the game at the beginning of Area 4 when the lights go out. I had like nightmares about like, oh god, what if I'm trapped in this mansion and it's dark and there could be no light and there's ghosts everywhere? Like, where do you go? Oh. Oh. Hina! Remember the Game Boy flash yellow? It freaked me out a little. Bro, what? I feel like I'm losing a battle of random obscure phobias. Oh, watcha! Hina, what are you doing? Hina, take a bath. You're not supposed to have your clothes on in the bath. What? I never really had a lot of, like, DOS programs or anything like that. My computer-based early gaming was non-existent. Except for some Flash games. Oh, there was one Flash game that scared me. That was Monster Basement. Ooh, that one scared me. Monster Basement. It's like a point-and-click adventure game. It's got me a large talking Yoda doll and it terrified me. Had to leave it facing the wall every time I went to sleep. My sister had like a Cabbage Patch baby and it would just sit in the closet. And it was like, I never really thought much about it, but man, I did not like that thing. Mario Kart Wii changing the drift setting to manual instead of automatic because my dad told me not to do that, so I always went through the section as quickly as possible. I don't even know what that means, brother. Like, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? You were afraid of selecting your drift? Monster Basement was the one where you're in this guy's basement and you free the monster in the cage and then the rancher comes down and then it's revealed in the cutscene at the end that you're like the same species as the guy you just freed. There was a sequel to that. I don't remember it though. I just remember I clicked the picture of the rancher and then he turned to a demon and I was like, ah! No thanks on that one. Oh, there was a Flash game I played that I really liked before. I think it was, oh, what was his name? I think it was Detective Grimoire? I don't remember his name. It's like Detective Grim something. But you solve a murder at an amusement park. I really enjoyed that game. You got suspects, you got the clown. A clown was a suspect. Someone died in the Hall of Mirrors. And you're on the case. Oh, well, we're stuck now. I've seen the Parasite. That one's like, or not. It wasn't called the Parasite. It's called the Visitor or something. But you basically it's a little point and click thing with a little alien dude, and you like help him grow big and strong, and then he like fucking kills things, and it's like actually kind of terrifying. I don't think I like that one very much. I play the Trapped trilogy as well. It's like the first one you play as a guy who's like wakes up in a bathroom with amnesia. That one's good. I played the sequel. I got scared in the skeleton room, and then I don't remember if I actually beat the third one because I think I got stuck somewhere. Yeah, at the very end, there's a guy. There's a guy in the bathroom, like hold up, and if you have to click a certain order of objects. And if you fuck up the clicks, then the alien bursts through the door and just like kills the dude. But if you do it right, you can basically trap the alien and kill it and save the guy, which is kind of interesting considering everything I did to get to that point. We killed that entire dude's family. Yeah, you explode a cat. You crawl up a cat's ass and you blow it up. It was a game. It was a game. Ah, there you go. That's the Balrog theme. Bow, 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 bow. Devs made Detective Grimoire made Crow Country. I've heard of Crow Country. It was really popular for a while. No shit, really? Fuck, that makes me kind of want to check it out. I really like Detective Grimoire. What is Crow Country? I remember that name. I remember that name because it was all over Twitch for like a couple weeks. That's crazy. That's crazy. I had no idea. PS1 style horror game. Old school horror game. Oh my god, really? Fuck, I wonder if somebody I actually give a shit to watch play it has played it. I don't really vibe too well with playing those games myself because I find most of the time it's a lot of busy work and it's tedious and it's not that fun. But I don't mind throwing it on and watching it so I can pay attention to the parts that are actually interesting. And he played it? Did he? Let me know if he did. I don't remember him playing it, but that would be something I could throw on later tonight. Keep myself entertained. Yeah, it sounds very familiar, but I never watched it. I thought it was something else entirely. Goofball. Ah. Bum 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 bum. What the fuck just happened? What? What the hell just happened? Oh, right. Sage's got a new ability, doesn't she? Sage no longer has her stupid screen flip annoyance. I guess now she can hit that and it shrinks Hina so she fits through gaps easier or something. Oh, well. Well, that's an awkward position. Okay. Let me ask you something. Do you feel like I earned this win? Do you feel like I deserve to win there? Not me. No siree. Not me. Like, chat. You remember the Squirrel Stapler game? You remember, Squirrel Stapler? That game is not good. Let's get that out of the way right now. That game is not good. That game is like an hour and a half of busy work for a really shitty payoff. But the payoff is very funny. The payoff is very funny. Because it's just, God is coming. And then you turn around and there's like a squirrel behind you and the game ends. And it's like, wow, that was a use of my time. That's my problem with horror games. Is that horror games are just busy work. They're just busy work with jump scares. So few of them are actually like unsettling. You know what was a really fucking good horror game? MyHouse.wad. MyHouse.wad is a really good horror game. Even though it's not a game, per se. But it's basically a game. In the Doom engine. That's the kind of weird type of horror. I like Spooky's House of Jump Scares as well. I think that one's pretty okay. Still got jump scares. But like, its presentation is pretty solid overall. I don't want to say that. The biggest issue is that it's a lot of samey type of assets, and it's just not really scary. But that's probably pretty much the case for a lot of people. Is it's just not scary because the assets aren't scary. The positioning of the assets isn't scary. They're all like it takes quite a lot of polish to make an atmosphere spooky. I think the Amnesia game, the Bunker one, Amnesia the Bunker does a really good job with atmosphere. There you go. That one's really well done with its atmosphere and its monster. It's quite alarming. I imagine more so if you're the one playing it, but just watching it is like pretty terrifying. There was like a Dreamscape game that I watched Vinny play. I don't know the name of it, that had some pretty horrifying like segments in it. And those are good. The reason why those segments work well is because they're usually contrasted by the more happy dream type of deals, right? Like, I'm sure Omori probably does something like that as well. Because Omori is all about dreams. But, like, you'll be in these happy dreams, regular dreams, and then you'll be in, like, a nightmare, and it's, like, the discrepancy of it is unsettling because it's not unbelievable given the situation that you're in, right? I think that's what really helps towards it, is the fact that you know it's like dreams and you kind of know how dreams work. I mean, you don't, but you do. The idea is that a dream can turn into a nightmare really fucking fast, right? And Yume Nikki has plenty of areas like that. Yume Nikki has a lot of really weird out there areas, and it has some areas that are a lot nicer and more relaxed, and then it has some areas that are like just uncomfortable. They're just generally uncomfortable. Not as many as there are regular dreams, but Dot Flow kind of made a... Dot Flow is a game, a Yume Nikki type game that focused more on nightmares than Dreamscape, so there's a lot more nightmare-based stuff there. So that one's good for getting the horror fix of it, which I think is pretty cool. I watched my brothers play horror games. When I was little, I watched YouTubers play horror games that I couldn't play myself. I watched Christian play Resident Evil because there was no way I was gonna play that shit myself. And I watched PewDiePie for most horror games. Well, I watched a little more than PewDiePie, but PewDiePie is pretty much the only one I can say I watched that wasn't exposed and disappeared from the internet. You know. I used to watch Cry. I watched Cryotic's entire playthrough of Corpse Party. That was my experience with Corpse Party. Yeah. What a shame that one was. Ego boys. I never watched a lot of Manly Badass Hero, actually. I don't know why, I just never did. He's still around, I know he is. He plays a ton of those games. Happy game? Doesn't sound familiar. Doesn't sound familiar. See, I like watching like someone like Vinny play horror games because he has no reason to overreact. It's just a dude playing a game. So when it actually spooks him, it like actually feels kind of authentic. Too many times you watch these horror game stuff and it's like people are trying way too hard to get to give a reaction to something, and it just kind of makes me roll my eyes. If something spooks me, something spooks me. I think we both screwed up, but it's fine. You know, I've been waiting for Markiplier to put out his getting all the goodies for Secret, and he's just not. Okay. He's just not, so I don't think I'll ever see the good end of that game. I'll never know what Edwin was truly thinking. I mean, to be fair to it, does anyone really care that much? I think he made it pretty clear in his ending bit when he finished the game about how it's not really, to me it feels like a Federation Force type of game where it's like it's got the name FNAF on it, but it's like nothing about it is FNAF, and it's kind of just a mediocre first person horror game. That's kind of the extent of it. It's not a very good game. It's not necessarily a bad game, but it's not really a good one either. But it's got the Freddy name tag on it. But take the Freddy name tag off it, and then what is it, right? Can it stand on its own merits? Not really. Do you call these games FNAF when you don't even spend 5 nights there? Well, you do go to 6 a.m., which is the length of a shift, 12 to 6. So there's that, but you are right. We haven't been doing a lot of FNAFing at this FNAF game, at these FNAF games in a while, huh? Oh, I wish I did my victory cry. So that's a big point. Do you think the movie will spend 5 nights at Freddy? I don't even remember what the first movie did. I think it did, right? Didn't the first movie spend 5 nights at Freddy? How could you miss the fucking key point of the series? Is you spend 5 nights at Freddy. So boys, you guys wanna go to the theaters? You wanna go to the cinema together and watch FNAF at Freddy 2? Go see it in theaters. Fly on down to Nova Scotia. Come see it in local theaters with me. Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that there will be a Markiplier cameo, because they wanted a Markiplier cameo in the first movie, but he was too busy to make it work. So I would say there's a very high chance that he will make a cameo in the movie somewhere. As to what he'll say or do, I don't know, but he'll be there. I think the best cameo they could give him is if they have him at that carnival fair and they just have a shot of him winning a game at the fair, a grand prize, and he shouts that he is the king of Five Nights at Freddy's. That is literally all they need him to do for his cameo, And it's like, there you go. Perfect. Literally perfect. Somebody get this guy a script. Somebody get this guy a script writing job. He's clearly got it. Well, this is the Barman Silent Hill mix, right? This is a good one. $1998. 1998. 1998. I don't even know what the fuck Hina is doing, but you keep throwing, like, eggs. I can't get her down. What the fuck? What's even happening? Schmoog. That is one Schmoog face. Well, I'll be damaged. Oh, he didn't know. I didn't know, apparently. I thought she would hit the top of that and kind of fall lightly. You don't win, fucker. Oh, well, I guess you do. I guess I'm the idiot here, but oh well. His shot only worked because I am jackass. Cha. Bow no 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 bow. Rotation station. I think I never actually watched one, but I'm pretty sure the Secret of the Mimic speedruns were another one of those speedruns where you can just kind of clip into the wall and enter the end point of the game and just like finish the game like that. I do recall seeing that the game could be beaten in like 5 minutes, which how else could you possibly manage that? That's the mark of a good game. I don't really know who Steel Wool Studios is, but I can tell you that their track record for FNAF games has not been, it's not really been great. They're making these like full 3D like wandering games, but then the games that like made Freddy its money were Click Team Fusion games, where you literally have like a scaled PNG you scroll between, and then you have static images you scroll between on a camera feed. That's where Freddy made its money. How are we going backwards when we increase the size and scope and scale of these things? You know? Game studios are making good games nowadays. Well, I heard the one that made Expedition 33 made a pretty good game. It's called Expedition 33. I heard that game was pretty good. Can't verify. Haven't played it. Wow. Spook. From soft? I think you mean from slop. Oh my. Enjoying from soft games. Oh, you. Bye, Hina. I don't think I've seen more use of the term slop than when discussing FromSoft products. I don't know what it is, man, but some people get really angry about FromSoft games. Like they're on a moral crusade to convince people that FromSoft games are actually not good. And I have to wonder if this stems from their own ability to play the game or all of the shit they've heard people talk about to the game to where they become a supervillain against the game. Cause I swear to God, it like FromSoft gets so much shit for no real reason. What are they even doing? They're just putting out games. Are they fun? I'd say they're pretty fun. I haven't played Night Rain, but well, you know. But like the games are fun and they're cool and they have great music and they have actually really good direction for voices. But no, they're bad games. They're schlup. Why are they schlup? I don't know why they're schlup. I think it's just some fans. Can you really call them fans? Then again, I guess Nintendo's currently going through that as well, right? Nintendo has, Nintendo makes a lot of really poor decisions that cause a lot of, issues with people. But then they release a game that is actually quite fun and decently length. Like, quite decently length. And people enjoy it. But then there's always somebody who shows up to like insult you for enjoying it because it's Nintendo who made it. That one's pretty common. That happens more for the people who play Nintendo games regularly, mind you, but that is pretty common. There are Nintendo detractors that literally just kind of pop up just to kind of put their 2 cents on their opinion of Nintendo and attach that to the critique of the game. Which is the weirdest part. It's like the critique of the product is solely due to the company responsible for it. Which is not exactly, they're not exactly free of anything for that, but it's like, wow, this is a good game. Yeah, but Nintendo is a piece of shit because they did this. It's like, okay, I know, they are. But like, the game is still fun. But no, you're not allowed to enjoy the fun game. It's actually schlup. It's actually schlup! Oh. The $10 Switch 2 demo is the second best-selling game on the platform. How? I actually kind of wonder how. There were a number of people who bought it just to be like make videos about how bad it was. But like, so many people fucking bought it to be like, this is not worth your money, that it's actually kind of funny. It's actually kind of funny how that Ouroboros kind of works. I'm going to spend $10 so I can show you this game and tell you that it's not worth $10. That's a great idea. Maybe I'll do that too. And that's how it goes. And that's how it goes. That's how I assume it went. Because there were a lot of people who bought that game just to play it for like 2 hours. So people can look at it and get angry at it. There you go, Hina. Highest selling Switch 2 exclusive game is that demo, huh? That's because the Switch 2 has 2 exclusive games on it right now. One of them is $90 and the other one is $70. Also, yeah, Mario Kart was a pack-in, so it doesn't count as being sold on an individual level if you bought the pack-in. Which people obviously did, because why the fuck would you not buy the pack-in if you're buying the Switch day one? You gonna sit there and wait for it to buy a physical copy of Mario Kart on the side? The Switch 2 camera sold terribly with a single-digit percentage of owners buying it. Good. $3 million units sold. What is less than 10% of 3 million units? Less than 10% of 3 million units, chat. That means like under 30,000 people, doesn't it? Am I getting my zeros right? So less than 30,000 people own the Switch 2 camera. How? Why? What do you mean why? The camera not come with the Switch? Oh, yeah, wait, you got a point there. Why did the camera not come with the Switch? Why would I buy the camera? How much does the camera cost? Because why would I buy the camera without any real idea how it works? $50? What? Oh, there's no shot. There's no shot they thought they were gonna sell that for $50 fucking dollars. Next they'll add a subscription service for it. I mean, yeah. There's already a subscription service. Welcome to Success Nintendo, where they play basketball with themselves. What the fuck just happened? Oh, I didn't even know you could get out that way. Okay. They play basketball with themselves, and they score until they stop scoring, and then they have to be like, oh shit, how do we get our players back? Once they stop scoring on their own, they need other people to play with, and then they alienate their player base, and then they bring them back, and then they do well, and then they alienate their player base again. Yeah. The Wii U was one of the best things to happen to the consumers of Nintendo products in a long time, which is a strange thing to say. Nintendo is always at its strongest, the console after a massive commercial failure, which is why the Switch was so good. But because the Switch is so good, the Switch 2 is now going to be just as good. And that's why we're here. You are here right now. No reward programs, subscription services, all this stuff. All this lovely Nintendo stuff. But their games are fun. And really, I think that's the biggest problem people have, is that despite all the issues that Nintendo constantly does, they do still make fun games. They make fun, long, enjoyable experiences where you look at other AAA developments and you're like, wow, this game is actually bona fide garbage. If Nintendo didn't kind of have a monopoly on fun games right now, things might be different. Remember when they had competitors? They had cartoon mascot competitors on different platforms. But now every game studio that makes games, they have to be gritty and realistic and Souls-like. They all follow a certain formula and none of them really follow fun. Nintendo's pretty much the only company that bothers to do mascot-based games anymore. Unless you count anime as mascot-y, but like, oh, okay. Oh, that got weird. Oh, what the fuck is happening? What? 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 What even just happened? Why did I win that? Okay. Astrobot was a great game. Because Astrobot was exactly the kind of thing that the PS5 needed. A fun video game. A fun, mascot-y, collector, platformer, low difficulty game. And lo and behold, it was a really well-received game because it was fun. And Nintendo kind of is really good at that. Say what you want about them, but... You can say what you want about them, but they do continue to produce very fun video games. Games that are very fun to play. Games that are enjoyable to play. When was the last time you played a AAA game that you really enjoyed, chat? Do you know? For me, it was RE4 Remake. RE4 Remake was like 2 years ago at this point. That was the last AAA game that I bought and played and was like, this is fucking amazing. I fucking love that game. Armored Core 6, Night Rain. Schloop! From Schloop! Schloop, Schloop! Up! Okay, well. Okay, alright. Sit down, Hina. Alright. No, I can't think of the last AAA game that I played before RE4 Remake. Chat, do I stream games like that? Like, what is the highest specs game I've ever streamed? I guess it'd be Elden Ring, right? I guess it would be Elden Ring. I don't have enough fucking room on my computer to even re-download Elden Ring anymore. It's too big a file size. I cannot play Elden Ring. I beat all 3 of the Souls games. I beat Bloodborne on my own time. Never got to play Sekiro, but I do own it. Wow. Played Minecraft. Well, not really. No, I'm trying to think, like, because Nintendo's AAA, and I've played a number of Nintendo games. Not as many as you'd probably think. There's a number of newer Nintendo games that I have skipped out on in favor of just watching somebody else play. I did buy Wonder and play that. I really enjoyed that. I binged it in a couple days. I was not a fan of Breath of the Wild. I did not get Tears of the Kingdom. What constitutes AAA? It's about budget, scale, company. Basically, if the file size is over 30 gigabytes, it's a AAA game. I'm not into the Call of Duties. Curve qualify? Yes, because it's Nintendo, and Nintendo is AAA. Nintendo is 100% a AAA development studio. I guess people seem to assume that because Nintendo games are quote-unquote not as graphically intense as like Xbox or PlayStation games, that they're not AAA. But like, that's a AAA company making these games. Get ready for quadruple A. GTA 6! Woo, 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 woo. I'm not playing that. I played San Andreas with a Toho mod and I enjoyed it, and that's about the extent I think I will get out of any game like that. Yakuza? I don't know if Yakuza, I guess it's AAA because it's Sega, right? But I don't really know what goes on with Sega. Ow. Most of the stuff that gets shown off at like Summer Games Fest and Game Awards, that kind of stuff is mostly AAA. There's also, we also tend to get a trend of like indie games that we kind of get a trend of indie games that have a certain formula they try, because we usually have like a popular genre every couple years that lasts for a little bit, and then a lot of indie games kind of come out and try to cash in on that trend in one way or another. The highest budget Toho fan game. Highest budget ones, probably one of the ones that well, I guess it'd be Danmaku Kagura, right? Danmaku Kagura raised a lot of money, so that one definitely had quite a budget. But there's also the Aqua style games, which probably had a pretty high budget. Currently, it's Balatro. Yeah, Balatro type games are in. There's one for like poker. There's one for mahjong. There's a couple of them that exist. It's a popular format, and people are trying to get in on it. But the thing is, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to create games like that with different games as its core, as long as they're good. Because I hear the Mahjong one is actually pretty damn good. So, like, being able to play a Balatro-like game with a different game that you're more familiar with or you enjoy more, is good. I think that's a good thing, as long as the games are good. It's when they're cheap cash grabs that it's kind of like, oh, this guy has no idea what he's doing. This guy has no idea what he's doing. He's gonna try some from cartoon shit, and I'm just not gonna let him because I'm not gonna play this game with the intention of being a good player in mind. Lotus Labyrinth is different. Lotus Labyrinth is a remake of an older game, so they left the CGs alone. Or they left the cutscenes, the animated cutscenes alone. That's why they look so different. Because those are just straight from the older game. But the game was that's why it's Lotus Labyrinth R. Because I believe the third game of the series is Lotus Labyrinth. So that's why the remake is Lotus Labyrinth R. Fuck. I goofed that one. Genso Wander is the big one. I had a lot of stuff in that one. It's a $60 game, better have a lot of shit in it. Oh. Stardew Valley is $15 and I have 70 hours in it. 70 fucking hours. Help me! I don't even have a light installed in my house. I never figured out how to do that. So now when I come home every day, it's dark. It's dark, and there's no light. And now I'm married, so now my wife is just sitting in the kitchen in the dark, and I'm like, I need to get some fucking light in this house, because this is depressing me. This is fine when I was alone, but now it's depressing because somebody else is living here. I need to go figure out how to buy lights so I can make it not dark. Ooh-ha. Donkey Kong. Honestly don't know what the next AAA game to like come out really interests me. That isn't Nintendo, I should say. I marry Emily. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Now, she's pretty chill, being in a dark room, but, like, I gotta do something to fix that. I gotta do something to fix that. Dude, when I married her, she was like, hey, tell me your favorite gifts, and maybe I can get them for you. And I was like, wow, they're giving me a lot of options here. I can tell her, like, my favorite gift is, like, any of these hard-to-find rare items. But I didn't do that. You know why? Because that's cringe. I told her my 3 favorite things are pancakes, pizza, and spaghetti. That's it. Those are my favorite things. Actually, my favorite thing is dinosaur eggs, because I really fucking need one. It'd be really cool if you found me one. No. No, those are my favorite foods. Trying to min-max resources. Wow, honey, this is a great gift. It's going right into the shipping box. Like, no. No. Activate the roleplay mode. I spent 750 G on ice cream to give to Jazz, Vincent, and Penny. because they were there and I felt like it. Did I need to? No. Did it do anything? No. Did it cost me money? Yes. Did I do it anyway? Yes. What the fuck? He did some crazy shit. It didn't work. Hocha. Hiya. Ectoplasm. Oh, Hina. You do so enjoy getting things thrown at you from a distance. Or at least I assume she does. She doesn't seem to complain about it. Does she get paid for this? Is this where all her money comes from? Hayaku! Wait, you can make that shit drop at the same time that you throw a ball? Okay. Well, that's a shame. Is it just a Hina statuette? No, that's Hina. That's the real Hina. Do you not know the lore? Why do you think she reacts when you, like, blow her up? Or take her picture? That's the real Hina. That's why she's not in the game, because that's her. That's why the version of her that is in the game is a time traveler from 2018. This guy never thought of this, did he? His extended universe lore is completely out of date. Why'd you turn gold sometimes? Because, I don't know, man. Why do you wear a different color shirt different days of the week? Huh? Why don't you just wear the same shirt every day? Judgmental, aren't ya? Oh, that would have worked better if you, He just barked at me twice! Unbelievable. I hope ZA is good. There's no way to know for sure. There's no way to know for sure. Love this theme. Love the Marissa version specifically. There's no way to know for sure if ZA will be good. I just hope it runs well, but I plan on getting it on Switch too, so it should, you know? It should be fine. But I like what I see. I like what I see. I just hope it's not clunky in actual play. I think there was a tweet that somebody made about a Pokemon Champions. And that it's a one-time buy with no microtransactions. Obviously, I don't know how, like, true that is, but I think people really want that to be good. They really want an official simulator that is easy to access, and is easy to access, accessible, and you know, you actually have to play it to use it. Well, I feel like I want to say there's one of two ways this goes. Either A, they release it, it's not good, but they don't care, they have it now, and then they tell Showdown to go suck an egg. Or two, they realize that, like, if they don't make a battle simulator that is, like, good enough to get people to switch over, then there's no point in making it at all. So I really want to believe that they're taking that route, where they're trying to make a really good battle simulator so people will actually make the switch. But that seems like extra work, and if I learned anything from Game Freak, is that they don't like working very hard on Pokemon. We'll see though. We'll see though. We'll see though. God damn it. I heard that Game Freak was making a new game. I never actually saw it, but I heard that the frame rates in the trailer were not good. I got no idea though. Something about Game Freak and optimization that doesn't go hand in hand. I guess when you realize that the reason why Pokemon Gen 2 has all that it does and works is because of somebody who's not part of Game Freak, kind of explains a lot, huh? BP times 3. You know, Capcom had its own fair share of, Capcom's had a number of, like, ups and downs throughout its life. I don't know where it is right now. I think it's probably fair to say that it's somewhere around the Capcom sucks, end of the spectrum. And that's mostly due to Monster Hunter Wilds. Because Monster Hunter Wilds is not doing too well. Not doing too well. Yeah. Ah. Well. Iron Blade was even worse than I helped the Xenoblade devs. No, they asked the Xenoblade devs. From what I understand, the Xenoblade devs Monolith Soft was asked to design the open world for Scarlet and Violet, but when they were told how much time they had for it, they refused. Said that there was not enough time to actually make something. That's what I heard. That's the story I heard about it. So Monolith Soft making the open world portion would have been great, but because Game Freak has this like fucking draconian release schedule to them where they just have to release a game every year no matter what, even though they really don't want them to. They have situations like this. Is it true? Who knows? Who knows? What? What the hell just happened? But it's possible that Monolith Soft is working with them on Lumiose. Or, well, Legends EA. So I'm about like 3 years old soon. Yes, it will. Well, Sakuya. Kacha-cha. They should probably hire better programmers considering their games constantly get mocked for it. But I guess they really don't care. It's Pokemon. It's Pokemon! Well, this is unfortunate. It's really a shame. Because I think Scarlet and Violet could have been one of the best Pokemon games ever released. If they released it the year after and actually, like, took time with it. I think the game was a step in the right direction from Sword and Shield, but it just wasn't a big enough step. Now we see if they fuck up Legends. And then if Legends comes out and Legends is better, then we have Gen 10, where we get the same, and this happens every time a new Pokemon game comes out, let's be real. This Pokemon game gets announced, and everybody gets excited, and after you have milked the viewership for the first week, then you start talking about how bad it's gonna be. Or people are just automatically talking about that anyway. It's all about that viewership. Personal opinion be damned, baby. Cha. It's a classic meme. The leave my multi-billion-dollar corporation alone. It's a classic meme. It does get misused, though. As most memes do. It does often get misused. I just want to play Kirby Air Ride. Making games isn't really about making games anymore. It's a business. It's not fun anymore. People with no creativity are the ones being the creative directors. It's really sad. The concept of soul is so stupid. What does that even mean? This game has soul. Like, what does that mean? Like, what the fuck is definable as a soul? The game is fun? Like, what? Soulless. The game is soulless. I don't get it. It just means passion. Well, you think the people working on the games aren't passionate about them? They are. They're just passionate for the wrong topics that they're trying to put into the game. That's kind of the problem. They don't care about the game part, but they care about everything they're putting into the game. That's the problem. You think the people who did the character design for Concord did it in a way because they hate Concord? No, it's because they were really passionate about those character designs. They really thought those were good character designs. They did. They really thought that. Why do you think they passed? Because they thought they were good. Does that mean does Concord lack soul? Does Concord have soul? If the people who worked on it, they enjoyed working on it, and it was a massive fucking flop because everything they did was just absolutely awful to the modern audience. What if you made something you were really passionate about and everybody hated it? Does that mean your game has no soul? Those designs don't seem to match common design principles. Yeah, but that's because the people in these roles in gaming companies don't actually, like, have any real knowledge of anything. I don't really need to, like, spell this out, because you can just look at the state of AAA video games to see for yourself, but creatively dry is an understatement. But you have to assume that the people who are working on these things, these characters, these concepts, do, to some capacity, actually hold their designs into high regard and really view them as good. Have you ever been on Tumblr? Have you ever been on Tumblr, chat? Tumblr, when I was younger, Tumblr art had a very distinct art style to it. Like, there were certain art styles you'd see and you would immediately refer to them as Tumblr art style, right? And you know what I mean when I say that, right? When you see a certain type of art style and you call it the Tumblr art style, because people on Tumblr tend to do that. But do you think the people that do that art style do it because they know that it's like disgusting, or they do it because they think it looks good, right? Like, why do they do it? They're passionate about their work, but their work is like ugly as sin. Their work has soul, but it's disgusting, right? But what about somebody who drew something like picturesque perfect, but he hated it, you know? What if somebody drew like a big boobied anime girl, got all the proportions right, the lighting beautiful, and he's like, I fucking hate anime, but it pays the bills, right? That work has no soul. That work has no soul at all. But it looks really good. So you look at it and be like, whoa, the guy who made this is really good. He's really talented. But like, I guess look, a furry artist, right? Tip, Hina, tip. But I do feel like when people make things, they do more often than not do it because they actually like what they're doing and they care about what they're doing and they have a pretty decent amount of passion towards it. But as we see with AAA stuff, I think the issue is their passion isn't in the part that makes it a video game, it's everything else. So their game is just not interesting. It's not exciting. It doesn't explore anything except for a very narrow-minded view. And that's really what it is. I think the truth is that the people that make things, AAA creative directors, aren't very interesting people. I think that's probably the biggest issue. When you're writing a story and you're writing characters, you need to be able to write characters who you may, like, morally disagree with on many ways, many avenues, right? Imagine writing a story where every character is reflective of your own worldviews. Every character is only reflective of your own personal view of the world, right? That's not an interesting story. That's just 12 of the same person doing the same thing. You have, like, when you're being creative like that, you need to be able to view the world from different lenses. But these people forget that. And they can only make characters who view the world the exact same way that they do. They are incapable of making interesting characters because they themselves are not interesting. There's nothing interesting about them. There's nothing ambiguity. There's no ambiguity to their story. There's no right or wrong. There's no good sense of morals. There is just extremely shoehorned in messages that are reflective of the director's own personal views that completely takes you out of whatever story it is that you're trying to enjoy, because now you're just getting lectured by somebody who thinks they're better than you. And I think that's the worst part. I'm playing a fucking video game and now I'm getting a lecture from some asshole who thinks that what they think is, like, objectively more moral than anything I could possibly think. And now I'm getting a fucking lesson of morality from these people. And, like, that kind of thing just rubs you the wrong way. It doesn't really matter if you agree with what they're saying or you don't agree with it. It's fucking annoying. Because they're not subtle about it. The story isn't subtle about it. It's too in your face. It's not like the moral of the story or anything like that. It's literally just the characters start talking and start introducing real world equivalencies that just make you roll your eyes because it's not fucking subtle at all what's going on. Watch this play. It's called Die, Hina. What the hell? Okay, alright. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. The subway shocker. Yeah! See me on the subway, brother. The art of subtlety is lost. Well, that's really what it is. There are a lot of old games that, like, the stories they tell stories and they're analogies for, like, different things, but they're not, like, really set in stone. But the problem is that the idea of show don't tell is kind of lost in the medium. So now it's not like show, it's just tell. Like, you have to constantly remind the player that the way they should think is this. You don't let the action speak and let the player make their own decisions on things. You simply tell the player that, hey, this is how this is supposed to be. And if you don't feel that way, then you're a bad person. You have to respect this way. You're not allowed to play differently. You're not allowed to play differently than what we, like, because if you play differently, it means you don't adhere to our morals, which means you're a bad person, which means that you shouldn't be allowed to play our game anyway. You remember when Modern Warfare 2 made a fucking campaign mission that was just like, alright, go to an airport and just gun people down. And it's like, that mission's like, hey, you know, like, if you want to skip this, that's cool. You don't have to do this mission if you want. Right? That's kind of fucked up. That's kind of fucked up. They made a mission that's pretty, like, that's pretty heavy of a mission, right? But they even are aware of that, and they're like, hey, do you want to, like, skip over that? But if this was current day, A, that mission wouldn't exist. Let's get that out of the way. That mission wouldn't exist. Or the mission would specifically change the setting to adhere to whatever the creative director's own ideas are. And you have to go along with them, and it makes you the good guy, and if you don't go along with them, then you're the bad guy. There's nothing else to it. There's just a right or wrong type of ordeal like that. When you got the game banned in so many countries. Yeah. It's insane. Did you know they put a content warning on Rush Hour? Can you believe that? Rush Hour. I fucking love Rush Hour. Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. And you know what they do? They go around and they start making black jokes and Chinese jokes at each other. That shit mad funny. And now there's a fucking content warning on it. There's a content warning on it. Can you believe that shit? On Rush Hour. What is wrong with the world, man? What is wrong with the world? You can't even think things anymore, man. You're gonna get fucking taken out by the thought police. You said number 11. You thought number 11. What's up? Too sensitive. Well, the thing is, people tend to say that people are too sensitive nowadays, but usually the people that say this are the ones who are like, yeah, when I was 11 years old, I had unsupervised access to the internet, and I watched a guy get his head cut off. Like the people my age grew up watching live leak videos as young adults. Teenagers, even. And just, like, shock images and shock websites and, like, actual, honest-to-God people dying. And they're like, people are too sensitive nowadays. And to a degree, they're right, because, like, fucking Jesus, man, there are a couple words. But, like, the people who are saying this are like, yeah, I watched a guy die multiple times when I was, like, 13. And it's like, Okay, it's not that they're too sensitive, it's that you are completely fucking desensitized. But to a degree, I think they are right. We're approaching the world of styrofoam rooms. Styrofoam rooms and bubble wrap jackets. Crash helmets. Oh, I broke my nail clipper. Oh well. Oh, she's broken. Can I fix it? Probably not. She's done for. No! Oh. There's this annoying argument that you get about how things in the past were different and we used words that are now really, really bad. And it's like, oh man, you said those words back then. Oh man, you deserve to be dead in current year. But like, what the fuck is stopping 10 years from now turning words that we use regularly here into words of just equal social suicide, right? What's stopping words that we use right now from becoming just as taboo in the future? Oh, I think I broke it all right. Yeah. You used all these words when it was socially acceptable to do so. Yep. I sure did. Well, then you should be punished. Why? Because you used those words that were socially acceptable when they're not anymore. Oh, geez, I didn't realize I was a fucking seer, and I knew that these words were gonna be this problematic, like, 10 years from now. I'm gonna be boning the use of dumb because it used to be more severe in the past. You know the word retard? That's a word that we made like 10 years ago as a term for people because the other way that we referred to them was too negative. And then 10 years later, now we just go back to calling them dumb because now the other word we made is no longer acceptable. So that's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. That word used to be just something that was a word that was used to describe something, and because the other word that we used to describe it was considered too harsh. And now here we are 10 years in the future where we're not allowed to use the word we created to describe them because it's too harsh. So now we're back to using the word that we stopped using because it was considered too harsh. What was the other word? I don't know, actually. I think it was just calling people dumb, to be honest with you. Tired of unalive. Okay, so the biggest issue with stuff like that is that when things like unalive, I fixed my clipper, by the way. I fixed it. Things like unalive are done because the moment that you use the other words are picked up, you are immediately demonetized. And as you know, the only reason we do anything on the internet is for monetization. But also, it goes beyond monetization in certain websites now, where now it's a matter of everything getting blocked if you use certain words. If you use words they don't like, then that's it, removed, goodbye. So, a lot of people use these words. They say unalive instead of just saying suicide or killed yourself. They don't use these words because if they get caught by the algorithm, they get like shadow banned, removed, silenced. So you catch these people using these really, really cornball terms because they're being forced to. Even movies started using it. There's no way a movie has ever used that. There's no way. There's no way. What movie? The Minecraft movie. Are you fucking serious? What is the context to that scene? Tell me right now. Tell me right now. I do agree with you though that making up these really, really shitty, stupid terms like unalive is just, it's so safe. It's like power washing your mouth with a bar of soap. It's just so unnecessarily safe that it's actually kind of like annoying. It's really annoying. The General Chungus says, sorry Steve, but I have to unalive you. The what? 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 That sentence was way too front-loaded. That's his name. I just don't believe you. I don't believe you. Well, I mean, you saw the UK bill that just passed, right? Motherfuckers in the UK cannot access adult content without, like, their ID. Photo ID. That's where we're going. That's where we're going. I did see that if you take a picture of Death Stranding screenshots, you can trick it. And yes, it's, see, the number one argument I've seen against it is that, like, oh, well, it only affects pornography. No. No, they didn't censor only pornography. They censored anything that could be labeled 18 plus. Anything. Anything. Good luck playing new GTA. How are you guys gonna play GTA 6 over in the UK? Huh? Can GTA 6 even release in the UK? I guess you need an ID to play it, not sell it. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on in the world over there, but I hope something changes for the better. Fast. But it's weird because usually when these types of laws get, not really, they don't get put into effect, but they get mentioned, and then there's enough outcry that it's like, hey, we're not doing that anymore because 80% of the world, of the country was like, can you don't? It just kind of seems like this is just something that got pushed through because it got pushed through. Oh, bye, Hina. Oh, I'm aware of the protests. I know. I know. I'm also aware that it immediately got censored by the bill in question. I'm well aware. This is not my battle to fight over in Nova Scotia, sorry to say, but there are parts that I am aware of. Payment processor stuff. That's pretty bad too, yeah. That one's pretty bad too, because that one is another one of those ones where they're targeting quote-unquote 18 plus content again, but it's anything that could constitute as 18 plus. So remember what we were talking about with games, how sometimes games, they force us to look at characters from different, like, walks of life, different moral compasses, different ideas. There are themes in games that are pretty heavy sometimes, that are like, oh shit, that's not good. But those are the types of themes that will get restricted because they're considered problematic. So how does that work? It's not just about censoring cleavage, as you probably like it to believe it to be. It's pretty much any subject matter that can be considered uncomfortable. And considering the sensitivity of the world, everything's uncomfortable. Everything is uncomfortable nowadays. I'm uncomfortable. Is that Futo? I think it is. There was a couple there was a couple weeks where DL site wasn't accepting credit cards because I forget, like Visa and MasterCard, and you know, they decided that because of the stuff that DL site sells on their website, that people aren't allowed to use cards on that site. That has since changed, but I feel like people aren't really as aware of why that's a problem as it should be. Considering how much of our banking and money is all electronic and done by these cards, and having a third party to your money tell you that you're not allowed to spend your money because they don't like the thing that you're spending it on. Like, I feel like people should be a little more like aware of what I'm saying. You know? Like, hey, I'm on DL side, I want to buy this game. Okay, so I will use my money that I have earned, and I will use this card, which is used to as a transaction, to move my money to the person in question to pay them for said product. But the card company is telling me, no, we don't like them, so we're not letting you spend your money on this product. That is the gist of what is happening. You're being told by somebody else that you're not allowed to spend your money. You know the whole I consent, I don't meme? It's literally that with credit card companies. So the way around it for a while is to buy DL site point cards and then redeem the points, which have dollar value. But it's not about the workaround. It's not about the, oh, just do this. It's the fact that you can literally just be told that you can just be told you're not allowed to spend your money somewhere because the card holder decided that they don't like what they do, so you can't do that. That seems kind of scary to me. A payment processor should not have any say in what I am spending my money on. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I don't want to hear any gray about dubious material. I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because this is the exact kind of shit that they go after when they try to put any of these restrictions in play, which we're seeing right now with the UK, where they're like, oh, the reason we're doing this is so children have less access to pornography. And that's what most people are content with telling themselves as to why this censorship act is good. But that's because at face value they know they can get people on board just by that without actually doing any real critical thinking. And that's kind of how it goes, is when the critical thinking stops, and then they give you a really enticing reason, but then you're also giving up freedom of action to this authority, and then it gets misused. Wow, shocker. I had no idea my government would fuck me over. Surely not me. I've been such a good, law-abiding, tax-paying citizen. They'd never target me. But that's kind of what's going on with that. Like, oh, payment processors are not allowing you to buy things because we think that this site hosts gooner material. And some people be like, yeah, you know what? Fuck the gooners. Fuck them. They don't deserve to buy their weird Japanese anime games anyway. So they deserve this. So there are some people who will think it's a good thing this happens until suddenly they're affected because now what they want is being restricted too. But that's bullshit. I'm not a gooner. I'm not buying goon games. It was never about the goon games, my guy. They're just a convenient excuse. They're a very good, easy scapegoat. This is why you must follow the rules. This is why we always follow step 2, alright? Rule 2. We always follow rule 2. Never goon. Never goon. They can't get you if you're not a gooner. The gooners are the fall guys. They're the fall guys. The gooners lose their porn, so I lose everything else. Holy society bottom text moment. It's funny because first goon was a word for like henchman, and now goon is a word for a chronic masturbator. But now goons are the fall guys for these acts. So now goons are once again true to their original name. They're the guys who take the heat for the boss man. But it's not good. It's not good. I don't like this. I don't like this goon. I don't like this goon-centric world we got right now. Rule 2. I don't even understand why the word goon became synonymous with that. I actually don't know where that came from. What the fuck about the word goon became synonymous with, like, a pornography addiction? Like, how did that happen? IDK because goo? Puritans didn't want to say coomer. How did coomer turn to gooner, though? I don't get it. What do you mean Puritan? A Puritan coomer? Like, oh, I had a fucking pornography addiction before it was cool. Like, bro, there's just no way. There's no way anybody ever thought that in their life, right? This can't be real. He's spitting. That's all I do. That's what it means to talk. Sometimes lingo, like, starts existing in my peripheral, and I don't know where it comes from, and I kind of just don't ask questions. And then when I stop and go, like, where did this fucking word come from, and why do we associate it with this? Nobody ever has an answer. Nobody has an answer. Why is skibbity a word? Like, what does skibbity even mean? Do you even know what skibbity means? What does skibbity mean? It's the thing that the guy who comes out of the damn head comes out, right? His head comes out of the toilet and he goes skibbity. See, Riz, I get that. I don't get that one either. I don't get that. Like, what does Riz mean? When I think Riz, I just think of, like, Raz. Like, raspberry. Or, like, the Rizzler. Which is, like, a candy. It's just short for charisma. Oh, you know, that actually makes sense. That actually makes sense. If it's slang for charisma, that makes sense. The Ohio bit doesn't make any sense, though. Where's my opponent? Ohio was a meme well before 2024. Yeah, I know, but like, why is it synonymous with the Skibbity Riz Ohio sentence, right? Why is that part of that sentence? They made our gooned in our goon cave, and it spread from there. Yeah, but what does that mean? Why is there a subreddit for gooning? You know what? You know what? I actually don't care the answer to that question. Never mind. I don't care about the answer. Those who goon. On Reddit? What? You can't goon on Reddit. That's heckin' too far. Chat, those are words that piss me off. Heckin'? I fucking hate heckin'. Whenever I hear the word heckin', oh, my brain instantly goes to a soy jack. Instantly, I can't stop it. I can't stop it. I hear the word heckin' and immediately my brain is like, that's soy jack behavior. I cannot control it. Too late. You said heckin'. You said heckin'. You are now, like, my brain is now just, that's it. That's it. Frickin' is whatever, because that's been since I was a kid. But heckin' is just like, oh, heckin' is so dumb, dude. It's so dumb. I think the first time I heard the term heckin' was in the sentence, the heckin' chonker. Talking about, like, dogs. A heckin' chonker. It's like, oh. No one says Helen. No, that's why you say hella. That's hella. Call them tendies. I call them tendies sometimes just because it's stupid. Chicken tendies. Give me my nug, my guy. Oomphy? Oomphy is one of those words that immediately if I see you use it, then I know that you're not worth associating with. That is how I feel about that word. Oomphy is a word that is chronic social media speak. If you use that word, you are on social media too much. As such, you are not worth discussing with. Nope. 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 I don't even know what oomphy means. I don't know what it means, but I know it's social media slang, so obviously the only people actually using it are those who are on social media too much. That's the real tea. Okay, the tea is a thing that I've heard, like, years ago. It's like, tea is like the details. Tea is like the details. That's what that is. Out. Give me the tea. I had a friend a couple years ago who described things when they were like bad or annoying or shitty. He said they was dust. He's like, oh, that's dust, dude. Oh, that's dust. I was like, I don't know what this means. I got no idea what this means, but he would just use that sometimes. He would just call things dust. I don't know, dude. I don't know. It was funny. That shit dust. I see you, Hina. What was bro doing with that shot? Well, now we're doing it. One of my friends or one of my followers. But can you imagine calling somebody an, like, you call them an oomphy and it means someone who follows you. I don't know, but there's some weird sense of self-importance that comes from using that, if that's what you mean. One of my followers. Bro, you got 500 followers on Twitter. Like, relax. Relax, brother. No, I'm a big deal. I'm a huge deal. I post funny memes every day. Chill, brother. Chill. You can't do this to me. I have a following on social media. Do ya? I hear people saying chat is this real in public. Okay, I will admit sometimes I think of people as chat and myself as streamer in the real world. It doesn't come out of my mouth, but I do. These are things that I think in my head sometimes. That may be a problem. What the Sigma? In my mind, I sometimes refer to myself as the streamer. And it's like... I don't know, man. But it's fine, because it's in my head and nobody ever has to deal with my nonsense in real life. Well. Oh. Alright, 5 more, chat. 5 more, Hina. 5 more, Hina. 1. See, mind reading is an interesting one to think about, because I firmly believe that if you had the ability to read minds, that, like, depending on who you are, you need a level of understanding that sometimes things float through your head that you would never say or do or act upon because you're fucking just you're really stupid. You're really stupid. But as a mind reader, you can see all those little things. And it's like, and then you get thought policed, right? But like, sometimes you think things that are like really fucking weird, or like, you know it wrong, and you immediately be like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why would I think that? Okay, well. So, if you could read someone's mind, I think you would need to understand that when things like that pass through somebody's mind, when something like that passes through somebody's mind, it's not indicative of their character as a whole. It's just a random fucking thought that happens, and they go like, what? What the fuck? It's not about the thoughts that swirl around in your head. It's about what you act on. That's what it is. So that's why Koishi is actually really fucking scary. Because Koishi doesn't think, she just acts. So, because I know what I think in my mind sometimes that make me go, what the fuck is wrong with you? Thinking about how Koishi, who doesn't have that filter and just does the first thing that comes to her mind, makes her actually legitimately scary. Because she could just decide to stab somebody. Because that's just something that came to her mind and she just acted on it. But she didn't have a time to think and be like, why the fuck would I, like, no, I'm not gonna stab him, that's ridiculous. But that kind of thinking doesn't happen for Koishi. Which is why she's stinky. Stinky. That's why she's stinky. No, that's why she's scary. I think some people miss that. All you really have to do is think about your own intrusive thoughts. There are some things that I've thought before that have, like, actually kind of frightened me as to why the fuck I would even bother thinking about them. But they just show up in my head and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And then I'm good. One time in junior high, this is fucked up. I promise you this isn't indicative of anything wrong with me, but like, here's an example. One time in junior high, I was walking home. Or no, it was high school. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I was walking home on the side of the road, and a big old fucking truck, huge truck, just drove on the road that was towards me. So it was driving towards me on the road, and I was on the side of the road, and it's massive, big old gray, ton of wheels. And my brain was just like, man, what if you like fucking jumped in front of that? And I was like, first of all, no, we're not doing that. Like, why would we do that? Why would we even think that that was a thing that we would do? Yup, that's normal. That's not... Okay. I don't think that should be constituted as normal, but that thought crossed my mind when I saw it. I was like, if I just, like, fucking hopped in front of it, my entire frame would hit the front of this thing. Just... Pfft. And I was like, that's... Like... But, like, if you were a mind reader and you read my mind for that, you'd be like, oh, this guy's suicidal. Like, no, I'm not. I'm good. But in that moment, I was like, but like, what? Wouldn't that be kind of funny? The fact that you guys are saying that's normal is kind of worrying. But now you see what I mean when I say Koichi, right? Imagine Koichi in that situation. Where Koichi sees a big truck and she goes, whoa, that's as big as me. And then she just fucking right into oncoming traffic. And that's it. And that's all she wrote. Good thing there are no trucks in Gensokyo, I'll tell you that. Two more. Scary, isn't it? But like I said, these are things that, like, they just pop into our mind, but they're not reflective of who we are as people. They're not indicative of our actions and choices that we consciously make. They're just things that appear in our mind as potential things to do, and then we have many other avenues in place to basically approve whether or not that thought is a good one, and then to go off of it. But Koichi doesn't have that. I ran out of oncoming traffic when I was younger. What? Like, why did you do that? Why did you think it was funny? Like, why'd you do it? IDFK. Ask. Mom and I were walking down the sidewalk, and you just bolted into the road? I shouldn't be laughing at this, but like, I'm just imagining you're like fucking 4 years old and you can barely walk at this point without your mom's hand, and you just like snap out of her hand and you go hee as you go into a fucking 55 lane, and your mom is just like, what are you doing? It's like, what like, nice job taking years off your mother's life, you fucking jackass. Oh my god. Oh jeez. Alright. To the shop. The legendary Hina box. Cafe Cutie Mima style. New dinner. Working. Cafe Cutie. Kageyama Risa. Okay, hold on. I already have that one. Have that. I have that. So I need to use... Trade 10 pieces in. For a new piece. Esports. What? Esports, huh? It's a new frog. Alright. Shop. Hina go boom. Hina go boom. It's a lot of Jun. Look at all that Jun. It's July streamer. Nice. La da da da. Donuts. Heading. Kaizuka player 2. Yep. Here we go. Sermon. Funa una. Pengi. Squirrel. Kageyama Keyna. Pharaoh. Bucket. Kageyama Hana. Hot bath. Why is she afraid to go in the hot bath? Ah. Ooh, ooh, Remilia costume. That's random. Raincoat. That's cute. Tsuchioka. Alright. We have completed another round of Hina. Level 63 Jun. That's right, me. Okay. Alright. Well done, streamer. You can now leave. Can I? Pog champion. Well, chat, I hope you enjoyed this week's Hina. Next time we play Hina will be when the new character drops. Whenever that is. I don't even know who the character is. But there will be more Hina then. Stay tuned.